Hey gorgeous, welcome to the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Kayla Smith, CEO of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L Society, a woman's health hub for fertility, hormones, and the business of coaching, creator of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L method, an infertility warrior, two-time boy mom, and women's health expert. This podcast is for women struggling with infertility, painful periods, terrible PMS, or really any symptom of hormone imbalance that they are ready to eliminate for good. Tune in weekly because we will be interviewing amazing experts in the field of women's health, breaking down those hormone walls, nerding out on nutrition, and having way too much fun. Whether you're just beginning your fertility journey or you've been struggling for years, we are going to finally help you put those pieces of your hormone puzzle back together so that you can get pregnant and eliminate those pesky symptoms for good. Are you ready? Thank you so much for tuning in. Now let's get started on your road to transformation. Hey gorgeous, welcome back to the show. I am so excited to have you here. Each week, we're going to talk to some amazing experts and really dive into topics all around fertility. So you're not going to want to miss a single show. If you haven't already, take a minute and hit that subscribe button. That will ensure that you never miss a single episode. So we'll take 1 second. We can wait. Hit that button and make sure you're all set. Also, I would be forever grateful if you would leave us a review on iTunes. This will help more people find this show, and it will allow us to help even more women on their journeys with fertility and hormones. And this is how iTunes decide who is shown what. So this way you can do your part to help the infertility community, and it would make me so very excited. So thank you. I would be forever grateful if you would do that for me. Thanks, gorgeous. And now let's get on with the show. Hey, beautiful. Do I have some exciting news to share with you? Because of countless requests and being frustrated as hell that I cannot help more people, and let's face it, there's only so many hours in a day, I have decided to do something super cool just for you. I have created a membership site. And on this platform, I'm going to provide you with lots of education, inspiration, community, hope, and a ton of fun. And to give you a little pleasure in a time that sometimes is everything but pleasurable. Every month, there will be new areas to explore and new people to connect with. All of this and more. So many resources to help you put the pieces of your hormone puzzle back together so you can finally get pregnant and eliminate those pesky hormone symptoms without spending thousands of dollars or jeopardizing your precious time. To learn more about this exciting new membership or to join, visit coachkayla.com/membership. I'll see you on the inside. And don't forget, if you join by November 5th, you get 50% off your first month, making your membership only $20. After Amy's IVF miracle baby was born, she realized that she had a simple hormone imbalance that could have saved her years to infertility, multiple rounds of IVF, and 6 miscarriages if she had just had the right information. So she took her PhD in pharmacology and invented the Proov test, the first and only FDA-cleared test to confirm successful ovulation. Proov works by measuring PDG, which is a progesterone metabolite in urine. And it does this in the luteal phase to understand if the hormone is high enough and long enough to support conception. Hey, Amy, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show.
It's awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and kind of how you got here.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Amy Beckley. I am a infertile scientist. My personal battle with infertility, I went through 2 rounds of IVF. I was infertile probably 3 years total. In that time, I suffered 7 miscarriages, throughout like my whole like TTC journey. And, I'm also a scientist, and I was always like, okay, I have this diagnosis of unexplained infertility. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm infertile, but you have no idea why. I'm losing pregnancies. You don't know why. Like, why in this age do we not understand why? So it really left me that desire to like figure out what was going on, what was wrong with me. And so after I had my son, after our 2nd round of IVF, I kind of put my scientist hat on. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to figure out why I'm not conceiving, why I'm not able to hold a pregnancy. And that led me to realizing that I was ovulating, but I wasn't ovulating properly. And so, the process of ovulation is not just, I'm getting an LH surge, I'm releasing an egg. It's the entire full picture of what's actually happening, because ovulation, you release the egg, but then you have other hormones that actually support the pregnancy and make sure that you're actually nourishing it, and that embryo can thrive if it is fertilized. Right. And so I had what was called a luteal phase defect, or insufficient ovulation, or weak ovulation, whatever term you want to call it. But I wasn't making enough progesterone, so hence the shirt. Got progesterone. I wasn't making enough progesterone to really sustain a pregnancy. And it was just a lack of diagnostics, because I go into the doctor and they do the 21 blood draw, or they, 7 days past ovulation blood draw, check my progesterone levels, and they were always showing that I was ovulating. But then a couple days later, I'd get my period, and I'd be so frustrated and be like, I just don't think I'm making enough progesterone. I just don't. And it was like, there was no diagnostic out there to really like, okay, you're not, it's like the doctors are like, oh, you're fine. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And so there's like that huge disconnect between what I was seeing and what the lab results the doctors were seeing. And so that led me to create a product called Proov. And so Proov is a urine-based test. I have a box right here. And it measures the urine metabolites of progesterone, called pregnenyl-gluconide, or PDG for short.
All right.
So we don't measure progesterone, we measure the metabolites. Yes. And what's cool about that is, serum levels of progesterone kind of go like this, and they just like fluctuate so much during the day. Urine levels, if you use first morning urine, kind of gives you the snapshot of your progesterone from the day before. And since it's urine based, you can do it more days in a row. And so, instead of getting a single blood draw, you're actually able to track PDG levels over this 4-day window, which is 7 through 10 days after you ovulated. So, progesterone, PDG, one of those hormones, it's important for this hormone to stay elevated for a long enough period. Because if you think about it, like I have this nice, beautiful uterus picture in the background.
For those of you on YouTube who can see that.
Yeah. But it takes a while for when the egg gets released from the ovary to travel down the fallopian tube to attach to the uterine wall in the uterus. And that journey is typically about 7 to 10 days. And so if you think about, the time between when you ovulate to your next period or your luteal phase, it has to be 10 days. And if it's under 10 days, you basically don't have enough time for that embryo that got fertilized, hopefully, to travel down the fallopian tube, get fertilized, go to the uterus and attach, before you start menstruating and that uterine lining starts shedding. And so if it sheds too soon and your progesterone levels drop too soon, it's a weak ovulation. It's an insufficient ovulation. It is a luteal phase defect.
Right.
And so that's, I wanted to invent a system, a test, a diagnostic that filled that knowledge gap. that gave women that information that was, progesterone is not a single point. It's not like LH where you see the surge and then you're done. It's something that you should track over time.
Right.
Just like glucose monitoring. You don't just track it one day and you're like, oh, yep, I'm good.
Right.
Fine. No, it's like you got to keep monitoring it and make sure it's at the level that you need it to be. And so that's really what Proov does. It really fills this knowledge gap.
Gotcha. I love that. I think it's so important for us to just be empowered with that knowledge to know what our body's doing. So that's amazing. So talk to me a little more about how this is different from like a regular ovulation test.
Yeah, absolutely. So we look like an ovulation test, and that's by design to make it easy for women to test at home. It's like the test is super easy. You pee in a cup, dip a strip, wait 5 minutes, read the number of lines, 1 versus 2. So super simple, but it measures a different hormone. And so LH is the hormone that surges right before you ovulate, right before you release that egg. So if you think about that, that's going to happen relatively in the middle of your cycle. I mean, it's different for each woman, but relatively in the middle of the cycle. And that's when you're most fertile. That's when you should time intercourse. And so LH is very, very important for timing and predicting when you're most fertile and your 2 most fertile days. But a surge in LH doesn't mean that you're actually ovulating or you're ovulating sufficiently or successfully is what we like to say. And so that's where PDG and Proov comes in. It's, we complement each other. If you're on YouTube, you can see, at the beginning of your cycle, you test for LH and you predict ovulation, you have intercourse. And then 7 days after you got that positive LH test, you start testing with PDG. And that really confirms that you have ovulated and that your PDG levels are where they need to be.
Gotcha. So what happens if so they take their ovulation test, it looks like they've ovulated, then they take Proov 7 days later and to confirm, but then what if they don't ever get a positive Proov test? Like it just keeps showing, does that mean they don't have enough progesterone to register that? Or what exactly does that mean?
There's different cases. So, we like women to take what we call a baseline test. So that's something right after your period, you take a baseline, and that shows you what your PDG levels are. And this can differ among women, just like LH differs among women. It's not, just different. Right. But that tells us, what does your PDG levels look like when you have not ovulated? And then after you've ovulated, if you're taking the Proov test, and you're not seeing any positives and you're not seeing any change in that at all, like that line's not getting any lighter, it's just no change at all, you're not ovulating. So that is very, very powerful information that, I'm not ovulating. I need, I need major help.
Right.
But if you take a baseline and you see one level, and then one level, and then if you take after ovulation and you see that it's like almost positive but just not quite, then you can say, okay, I've ovulated, but I'm just not producing enough PDG to really have a healthy, successful cycle. Gotcha. And so that is also powerful information because you can, these are the cases that we see the most often, is that you've ovulated, it's just not a healthy, we calibrated this to be, when you get a positive, that's in a proven fertile woman, it should be positive. And so if you're below that, doesn't mean that it's, you can't conceive by any means, but it means that, you might be able to benefit from some diet changes, some lifestyle changes, just very subtle things to put yourself back in balance and give yourself a little bit of a boost and just make it, that much more fertile and receptive to carrying a pregnancy.
I love it. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit more. I love tracking, and I always teach my clients, you need to be tracking your body, different tracking methods. So talk to me a little bit about how this is different from BBT tracking.
Yeah. So basal body temperature is an excellent way to confirm ovulation. But it doesn't tell you the level of the hormone that you needed. So basically, if we go back to what I just said about the case we see the most is that they're ovulating, but they're just not at that like positive Proov test level. BBT can't tell you what your progesterone or what your PDG levels are. It can just say yes or no. You've ovulated or not. But ovulation is not a yes/no answer.
Right.
It's a, well, how well are you ovulating? It's like egg quality. Well, how good of the eggs do you have? How many sperm do you have? It's not like, do you have sperm? Yes or no.
Right.
Same thing with ovulation. Right?
Right.
We just never had a good way to measure that until now. And so I love BBT for saying, okay, I'm tracking it. I've confirmed ovulation. Awesome. But if you're only using BBT and you're not getting pregnant, it's almost like this false security blanket. Like you're thinking you're ovulating, you're thinking you're fine, and you're missing this important piece of information where, a lot of our women, they have great BBT charts and they see the shift, but, a whole degree above doesn't mean you have high progesterone, and like a 0.2 degree above cover line doesn't mean you have low progesterone.
Right.
It's like, it's not correlative. So we're, an additional piece of information to kind of get at this, is your ovulation successful? Is it, successful?
Right.
It's not yes or no. It's like, did I have a good ovulation? Yeah, we want good, healthy ovulation.
Right. Gotcha. I love it. So talk to me a little more about what you can do if maybe you are getting, you've got low progesterone or you're getting negative Proov tests. Like, what are some diet and lifestyle things that you can do to kind of improve that?
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite one that we always tell our provers, they come and they're like, okay, my 7 and 8 DPO are positive, but 9 and 10, not so much. What do I do? And I was like, all right, cool. You're ovulating. You're just dropping a little bit too soon. Let's try seed cycling. And I have seen this in our group, and it's like voodoo science to me,
Yeah, I love it. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite.
So simple, right? And so you just feed your hormones the nutrients that it needs based off of where you are in your cycle. And so, seed cycling, if you're not familiar, in the follicular phase, so anytime before your positive LH surge, you want to eat pumpkin and flax seeds. And then in the other half of your cycle, your luteal phase, so anytime after the positive LH test, you want to switch to sunflower and sesame seeds. And what that does is it supports either the estrogen in the first half or the progesterone in the second half. And it's just something so simple as like putting a couple tablespoons of seeds in your smoothie, on top of your salad, whatever. Makes a huge difference. And I've seen women go from negative Proov test to positive Proov test to positive pregnancy test in like a month.
Yeah, same.
Crazy.
It blows my mind. I've had clients come to me where they weren't getting a period. They weren't ovulating. We introduced seeds, and all of a sudden they're like, got their periods back. They're ovulating. Now they're pregnant. I mean, it is, like you said, it's voodoo science. I'm like, how does something that simple work that well?
Yeah.
So cool.
So, yeah, absolutely. That's our number one thing that we say, seed cycling. If you don't know what it is, go research it. Super easy. Another big thing is taking out inflammatory foods. So that's not the same for everybody. So, working with your fertility coach is hugely ideal. She can help you, he or she can help you kind of figure out what it is. But for me, it was dairy. I mean, a lot of people say, gluten, dairy. Gluten's fine for me. It's the dairy that's not good. And so I'm a huge fan of oat milk. Oat milk is like really good. And I've seen a huge difference there. So trying to figure out what your body is intolerant to, because if you have like an inflammatory response in your body, it decreases your hormones. So anything you can kind of like, support a healthy flora, a healthy microbiome, reduce inflammation, that helps. B vitamins are always good. Those are the building blocks of hormones. Zinc, which is, a huge component of the seed cycling stuff. Another one is stress release, stress reduction, because cortisol, the stress hormone, if you have high needs for cortisol, you actually steal them from progesterone and your reproductive hormones and shunt it into your stress response. This one's a hard one though, because yes, reducing stress is very, very important, but it is the hardest one for women to do.
Right.
It's just so hard. Like when you're in this boat and you're trying to conceive, you can't just forget about it. You can't just be like, all right, cool. I'll just stress. I'll just, relax. I'll do some yoga. Like it's very, very difficult to do. But it is helpful, go do things that you enjoy. Try to relax. I mean, I know it's so hard. And so I refrain from being like, yeah, just relax and it's fine. No.
Right. I hate when people tell me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So talk to us a little more. I know you guys have some new products coming out. So tell us about that.
Yeah. You guys are going to get the sneak peek of this.
Yay.
So we have a new product that's launching at the end of September. It is a predict and confirm kit. And what it is it allows a woman to have her complete cycle in one box. Mm-hmm. And so we talked a lot about LH is timing intercourse. So when the egg is getting released from the ovary. And then we talked a lot about P.U.Z.Z.L.E confirming successful ovulation. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take and put both of these tests in the same box. So you have the LH tests that allow you to predict your two most fertile days. And then you have the Proov P.U.Z.Z.L.E tests, which allow you to confirm successful ovulation. And so putting those two pieces together is really going to give you the full picture of your cycle. And so that you can understand, you can be knowledgeable, and you can advocate for if something is not right or something feels a little bit off, to have better conversations with your doctor.
I love that. I can't wait till it comes out. It sounds amazing.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm super excited.
Yeah. So tell us one thing you wish you had known before all of this started that you might have done different.
I wish I had advocated for myself sooner. When I was going through it, it was about 6 months into the journey that, I started cycling and I knew something was wrong, or not cycling, charting. I started charting and I knew something was wrong. Like I had been on birth control for like 15 years. I didn't know anything about hormones. Scientists didn't know anything about hormones.
Right.
I'm like, all right, I got my thermometer, I got my LH test, I got the stuff, I'm like doing all these things and I knew something was wrong. And so I would call the doctor and be like, yeah, something wrong. He's like, it's only been 6 months, you're fine. And then we got pregnant. I'm like, cool, awesome. And then, a week later we lost it. And I just kept thinking, well, silver lining, that at least I can go get help, right? No, they still shot me down. They were like, no, you need 3, this is totally normal. That's another one of my soapbox items. Pregnancy loss is totally normal. It's like 25% of pregnancies just end in miscarriage. There's nothing we can do about it. Yes, there is something you can do about it.
Right.
Like, if you have a growth in your uterus, I don't care. You got to get it out of there before you can have a healthy pregnancy. So it's not just like, it's fine. If you have a hormone imbalance, you got to balance it before you're ever going to have a healthy pregnancy.
Yep.
If you're not taking enough folic acid because you have a gene mutation, you better figure out how to get more folic acid or you'll never have a good pregnancy. So it's like, no, we shouldn't as women accept that, it just happens.
Yeah.
And so, I waited the arbitrary 12 months to go see someone. And then I got the diagnostic panel and still couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And it was like, okay, you either have a 10% chance to continue doing what you're doing, or we can do IVF, and it's like a 70% chance. It's like, oh, well, duh, I'm gonna do the 70% chance, right? I mean, I'm stupid. But if I had advocated for myself and I had aligned myself with a different type of doctor, then I think I would have seen different results. So for example, if you have a hurt back, if you go to a chiropractor, he's going to recommend chiropractic care.
Right.
If you're a surgeon, he's going to recommend surgery. And so I went to an IVF doctor, and that's what they're trained in doing, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with IVF. I mean, my son is an IVF baby, and I thank God that technology exists.
Right.
But it's not the only thing. It's not the only thing out there. And so if you're in a position where you don't want to do IVF, you can't afford it, it's an emotional roller coaster. It is absolutely insane. There's other things you can do. There's fertility coaches, there are naturopathics, there's, chiropractors that do fertility, acupressure, acupuncture, like there's all these different people that can help you get to your goals that aren't going to slam the door in your face and say, nope, sorry, standard of care is 12 months, can't talk to you. Like they're not going to do that.
Right, exactly. And I love that you're talking about this. I mean, I think it's so important because I have so many clients that'll come to me and it blows my mind. They're not charting their cycle. They don't know if they ovulate and they're thinking about IVF. And I'm like, whoa. IVF is great. It's there, but you don't know that you need IVF. So let's get you as healthy as possible. And then if you need it, it'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, don't be afraid to start with other approaches before you jump into IVF, because it is not for the faint of heart, I would say.
Right.
It is all in legit, like, emotional outbreaks because you're pumped with so many hormones. It's so expensive. And if you don't have to do that,
right,
why would you?
Right. Oh, well, tell us a little bit more about where we can find Proov and where we can learn more about you and your work.
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest resource is proovtest.com, our website. You can order. We have a great blog section. One thing that we really, really like to talk about is education and educating women. A lot of times, like you said, they come in not knowing anything about their cycle, not understanding. And the more that you can understand and you can advocate for yourself, the better position you're going to be, that when you get to that healthcare professional level, you can have more educated conversations. Mm-hmm. So we have a huge blog content about education. You can buy us on the website. You can buy us at Amazon and at Target.
Awesome. And I think you have a special code for our listeners.
Yes, absolutely. So because you found it here, we have a special discount code. It's P.U.Z.Z.L.E 20. So the word puzzle and then the number 20, and that will save you 20% off of all of our kits, including the awesome new Predict and Confirm kit. But you're going to have to wait until the end of September for that one.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I know. That's so generous of you. So thank you for doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
So any final thoughts before we wrap up?
The other thing that we like to do is we like to support our women as best as we possibly can. We understand it's confusing. I mean, we're telling you to take 2 different types of tests, 2 different types of your cycle. So we have this awesome online community where no question is too dumb. No question goes unanswered. When am I testing? What does this mean? Here's a picture of my stick. What is it? Like all these things. So we want to support our users and our provers, we call them, the best that we can. So if you're even worried, I don't even know if this product's right for me, come to our website, go scroll all the way down to the bottom. It says join our community, send us a request. Just be like, I want to learn more. Great. Come to our group, see what it's doing, see what questions, how we're helping other women. If Proov's not for you, it's not for you. We're not going to pressure you.
Right. Yeah. And I love your group. I have to say, you are on top of answering questions and you're just very active in there. So thank you for doing that. It's amazing.
Yeah. We know how lonely it can be sometimes not to be able to get that answer that you need. And so that's 100% top priority. To answer emails, to answer Instagrams, to answer Facebook, we have women there that just answer every single channel fast as we can.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Amy. It's always so fun to talk to you, and I really appreciate you being here. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, hang on just 1 second before you go. I want to make sure that you are aware of all of the amazing free resources that I have for you on my website at CoachKayla.com. From a fertility meal plan, a cycle syncing quick start guide, a holistic healing cookbook, as well as master classes, blog posts by me and some amazing experts in the fields of fertility, hormones, and nutrition. So many wonderful resources that will help you on your journey. And I wish there had been something like this when I was going through my 2 years of infertility, but there just wasn't. And so that's why I decided to create all of this for you. So make sure that you go and check it out and you take advantage of this plethora of support that I have provided for you. And spoiler alert, these were some of the same tricks and the same foods that I used to get myself pregnant, not once, but twice, even after my doctors said that I couldn't. So I know that these things work. So make sure you take advantage of that. And I cannot wait for you to be my next success story. So thanks, love. See you soon.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Podcast. Check out the show notes for today's episode at CoachKayla.com. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a review. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week.